I leaned on my board. So don't ever lean on a whiteboard. Anyways, today we're talking about debit versus credit. So it's really just debit cards versus credit cards because they are very, very different. And unfortunately, in our society, especially in America, we have a big problem with both of them. And nobody talks about it. And you guys, as maybe as adults, know more, but unfortunately, that is a big problem because that's what most of our money is now. Most people don't carry on cash anymore, you know. The people that do, never mind. Anyways, okay, that's not a joke that I can explain. So most people don't carry around cash anymore. Most people carry around their debit card, they carry on their credit card. Most people don't carry on checks anymore either. So the big thing here is we're talking about the differences between the two cards because they do look the same. You know, they're both plastic cards, but they do completely different things. Before we even get into that, let's talk about a gift card because gift cards are not credit cards. They're not debit cards. I once had a kid tell me that a gift card and a credit card were the same. Not true. Not even close to being true. I don't even understand. It's fine. He was also 11 years old. So that's the thing. Sixth graders, I didn't know anything in sixth grade. I thought money does grow on trees because it's, paper, but not technically, right? And so I just thought, I just didn't understand money. I didn't understand credit cards. I didn't understand debit cards. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about debit cards first because most people use debit cards on everything, for everything. Debit cards are pretty much like cash. So if you're thinking like cash, whenever you use it, that's now gone. It's like a withdrawal from an account, right? So that's exactly what a debit card is. It's a withdrawal from your account. So it's taking money out of your account. When it takes money out of your account, then your account goes down, right? So the debit cards are linked to your checking account, remember? So we talked about having a checking account and a savings account. So a debit card is your money that comes out of your checking account. So it's really important for people to check their bank accounts and stuff like that. So like I have Wells Fargo on my phone and I check it because if you don't check it, a lot of times like online. So a lot of people shop online and you might see something really cool and you like it, but the site's a little questionable, a little sketchy. And so people will still buy something that they really want online, right? They have their debit card out, they put their debit card in, they put their PIN, they put the little number on the back. There's like a little number on the back, like a security number on the back. They put that in and then you buy something online. And if it's not a good site, then that site now has your information on your debit card, which means that if they're not good people and it's not a good site, that they can now use your debit card for other online purchases, which does happen. So it's very important that you, if you're buying something online, you buy things from good websites that have really good reviews and things like that. Amazon's a really good one. So the way that a debit card works is as soon as you spend money. So let's pretend. Okay, let's not even pretend. I just bought a pool for my kids in the backyard on Amazon and on my debit card. So I use my debit card, right? So it's not a very big pool, by the way. It's like a really small pool because I don't want my kids to drown because they're small. That's what you do. You buy a kind of lame pool so that your kids don't drown. That's adulting. Forget fun. Safety first. Right? Okay. Anyways, so when I go to buy something on Amazon, I put in my debit card information, and immediately when I have closed out my account, if I go onto my checking account on Wells Fargo, then I'm going to see that my account has gone down. Not that far. I didn't buy that expensive of a pool. It's a cheap pool, right? So just a little bit, right? So that money gets taken directly out of my account. So like I said, it's just like cash. As soon as you buy it and you swipe your card, well, you don't swipe anymore. This is more of a fun thing to do than like, I put my chip in with my debit card. That's so weird. But anyways, okay. I put my debit card in to the thing. Whenever, I don't even know where I was going with this, but whenever I put my debit card information in, if I go to look on Wells Fargo right away, it's going to show that I've spent money. Okay, and so my account balance goes down. So that's the cool thing about a debit card. It is attached to your checking account. And if you're out and about, you use a PIN. So that's called a personal identification number. So it is specific to your debit card, right? So my husband and I have different PIN numbers for our debit cards, right? And this is something that is really important, is that you don't tell anybody. It's your personal identification number. You should not be going around telling everybody. And every year that I teach this, I say, hey, raise your hand if you know your parents' your PIN number for their debit card. And a bunch of hands raise, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys share lockers and things like that. And then you guys get mad at each other and you tell people locker numbers and things like that. Like, I would not trust my children with a PIN number. I don't trust them to put their socks on correctly. I'm not going to trust them with a PIN number. But anyways, that's just me. I'm not a very trustworthy person. Well, no, I'm not a very trusting person. Well, I'm not really trustworthy either. It's fine. Okay, anyways. So with a debit card, you have to have that PIN number. If I'm like I'm at HEB and I'm getting some groceries, some Hot Pockets, right? And I'm getting some Hot Pockets and I go to pay for it and then it says, oh, this is a debit card. So put in your PIN number. Usually it's like four numbers. So you put your numbers in, right? And then if you put it in wrong, you can't buy that stuff because it says error or like PIN not received or something like that, right? So it's saying that it's wrong. And so it doesn't go through. So if you don't know the PIN number, then you can't use the card. That's why it's super safe. A debit card is really safe for people to use, which is really nice that way. Like I said, I don't trust people, right? So if I don't have the PIN number, I can't use it, right? And actually, your card can get canceled if you use the wrong PIN number multiple times. Found that one out the hard way when I was in Missouri and my card got canceled. I had no way to do anything. It happened again in Louisiana, actually. I'm really forgetful. So, yay for me. So anyways, so PIN number. So the big thing here, though, is that if you don't have money in your account, too bad. Your card will either get declined, which means you can't buy it. So here you are with all these groceries for HEB, and you can't even buy them. And so then they have to go put all those groceries back because your card got declined. You don't have enough money. Or what they'll do is they'll charge you something like an overdraft fee. So this is where the bank is being so lovely. With your debit card, let's pretend like you don't have enough money in it, right? So you have $10 in your account. Yay, this is your account. You buy something for $20. Oh no, now you're at negative $10 in your account. But wait, the bank says, hey, you didn't have that money, so you're stealing from us. It's like you're borrowing money from us. Well, if you want to borrow money, then we're going to charge you more for it. So this is called an overdraft fee. Super fun. They'll sit there and say, hey, you went negative, so we're going to charge you another $25. So now your account says negative $35. And every time that you use your debit card and you go more negative, they're going to charge you another $25. Aren't banks nice? They're so wonderful. Anyways, that's how they make their money, right? So debit cards. Debit cards don't overdraft and you're perfectly fine. It's really a safe bet, okay? Credit cards. So I get a little antsy when I talk about credit cards because credit cards are used a lot in America. A lot. Too much. Okay. Um, so growing up and things like that, I used to see a lot of like people that had like a lot of credit cards, like to different stores. So like Target has, oh, you can have a credit card at Target. Oh, you can have one at J.C. Penney's, at Macy's, and all these other places will have you open up a credit card with them. And then you have the bank that's like, hey, here's a credit card. You can have a credit card. You should get a credit card, right? So all of these places, when you get a credit card, they are loaning you money. Okay, a credit card, it's like so if they were to say, hey, your credit card limit is $1,000. That means that you can spend up to $1,000 on it. It's kind of a really cool thing, because if something happens really unexpectedly, like you have to go to the doctor or something that maybe you didn't prepare for, something breaks and you're not prepared for it, then you can use your credit card because you don't have the money in your checking account. You do not have the money. So you use your credit card to use it, and then you pay off this card. So every month, what happens is they send you a bill. And they say, hey, here's your credit card bill. You need to pay this off, right? The problem with credit cards is that it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you spent $1,000. You owe us $1,000. And then every month you kind of like pay some of it off and like, cool, I'll just pay off this $1,000 every month. I'll just pay off some of it every month. No, that's not what happens. It's not what happens. They are super nice, wonderful people. Like again, they use something called interest. Interest, it's so lovely. Interest is this terrible thing where they're going to charge you money to borrow from them, because that's literally what a credit card is you are borrowing money from whatever store it is or from your bank. And so let's pretend like, okay, fine. We have an interest rate of 10%. 10%. That's pretty high. I don't really like 10%, and I'm going to show you why. So 10%, let's say you owe Target $100, okay? Just went crazy on the school supplies, you know, because that's what we do as teachers. We went crazy on school supplies. And I bought $100 worth of school supplies, right? And there's a 10% interest, okay? So 10% is also the same as 0.1, okay? So 0.1. So what this means is that, let's say I bought this in January, so the February monthly bill comes out, right? So it's not going to be just $100. No. It's going to be $110, because this right here is what we call interest. $10 is interest. So they're going to charge you $10 because you didn't pay them back. So now your account balance is 110, not 100 anymore. So see, what happens is every time you pay something off, then they're also charging you more anyways. They're charging you interest. So really you're trying to take a big step forward, but then you have to take a little step back because of interest. You take a big step forward paying stuff off, and then it takes you back a little bit more. And they just keep doing this. And this is why credit cards are really hard to pay off. See, now $10 doesn't seem like a big deal, right? Now, if, let's say it's $4,000, because this is what happened to us. What happened to us is that our torque converter went out of our car. What is a torque converter? I don't know. They showed it to me. I know nothing about cars. I said, oh, that sucks. Okay, now what? And they said, it'll be $4,000 to fix. And I was like, well, this is the car that my children drive in, so I need to fix it. Every month, but do we have $4,000? No, of course we didn't. Who has $4,000 sitting around? Okay, if you do, cool, good for you, whatever. Not me, okay? So $4,000, we used our credit card. Couldn't use our debit card because we didn't have that money, so we used our credit card. Every month that we don't pay it off, if there's like a 10% interest, that would be $400 added on to my credit card. So did you see that? So if it's $4,000 to begin with, the next month it's now $4,400 because of the interest. Interest is bad and it's evil and it'll get you every time. So this is why credit card companies and credit cards and banks and people like that, they make a lot of money off of credit cards, because if you don't have money in your account, you can't use your debit card, so people will use a credit card and then they can't pay them off, because every time you take that big step, they charge you interest, so you take a step back. And so it takes you forever to get to the finish line. So I am biased, absolutely. I think debit cards are way better than credit cards. I think that you should save money and have a savings account so that if emergencies come up, you can pay for that with your savings account. Now, did that happen to us with our torque converter? No, right? Because something happened, right? But since then, we've paid it off. And so we're not being charged anymore on our credit card. So debit cards and credit cards are just different. Debit card means you have the money and that you can pay it off, and you can pay for it right then and there. Your account goes down right away. You use your PIN to pay for it. Credit card, you don't have that money. They're loaning you that money, so you have to pay interest on it whenever you don't pay it all off every month. So if you want to have a credit card, cool. The big thing with a credit card is just pay it off every month. Go use it for groceries and then pay it off when you get home. And it'll build you a credit score, which is something we'll talk about in another video. So we'll talk about credit score and credit history and all that kind of stuff, which is a good thing too. You need that. So please choose wisely, be smart with your money. Check out Dave Ramsey, because Dave Ramsey talks a lot about this, and he's a very smart man, brilliant man, billionaire, millionaire? I don't know, whatever. He has lots of money because he teaches about money. He's a genius. So go check him out and rock out your money. Yeah.